Good morning. I hope you are still fine and going on well. We have been looking at this topic of formula and variation, and we are through with the formula. So today I want us to start with variation. There are four types of variation that we are going to look at. You have done some of these things in your other subjects like chemistry and physics. So basically what we are going to be doing is to look at the relationship between the subjects. And some of the things you're going to look at here are quite familiar. So the four types of variations are direct, inverse, joint, and partial variations. We will take a lesson each so that we go through them in a good way, a way that you're going to understand. So today we are going to look at direct variation. Direct variation is something that you know when one quantity increases and the other one automatically increases. For example, when the cost of petroleum in this country increases, automatically the cost of transport increases. So we can simply say that the cost of petrol is directly proportional to the cost of transport. And vice versa, even the cost of transport is directly proportional to the cost of petrol. Similarly, when you look at the cost of transport and the distance that is covered, those who travel a longer distance pay more than those who travel a shorter distance. So we can also say the cost of traveling in Kenya or anywhere in the world is directly proportional to the distance covered. And so many other examples. So that is what we talk about. So in this one, we can relate mathematically that P, which is the cost of petrol, is directly proportional to the cost of transport. Let's call it T. So this sign here is the sign of proportionality. And when we write it, we cannot work it out like that. We have to change it to equals, the one we are normally used to. So with the moment we change the proportionality sign to equal sign, we have to introduce a constant. So we have an equation now, P is equals to KT. So when you are changing the proportionality sign to equals, you have to introduce a constant. So here, K is a constant. When you're given more information, you can be able to get P in terms of T by getting the actual constant. Constant here is a number. It can be a fraction, it can be a negative, it can be anything, but it is a number. It is a number. It may not necessarily be an integer. It doesn't have to be a whole number. It can even be a fraction or even decimals. Let's do an example here. You're told y varies directly as a square of x. Y varies directly as the square of x. So you need to form an equation. First of all, we start with the proportionality sign. So y varies directly as the square of x, that is x squared. So for you to write an equation, you have to remove this proportionality sign and introduce an equal sign. So y is equals to, so you have to introduce a constant k. So y is equals to kx squared. So with that, when you're given more information about y and x, you can be able to get k. For example, here you are told when x is 2, y is 12. So for you to find the equation connecting y and x, you must find the value of k. And let's see. So we come back here and say 12, which is y, is equals to k, which we don't know, times x squared, which is now 2 squared, which is 4. So when you divide both sides by 4, you will get k is equals to 3. So the equation connecting y and x will be y is equals to, now we don't write k, we write the actual number, 3x squared. You can be asked further questions on the same. For example, you can be told to find x when y is 75. So find x when y is 75. So you come back here to the equation you have formed. So y is equals to 3x squared. So y is 75, x is what we don't know. So you divide by 3, you get x squared is 25. So the value of x is the square root of 25, which is plus or minus 5. So this is how we do questions on direct proportion. You change the proportionality sign into equal sign, introduce a constant, k. Doesn't have to be k, it can be any letter. You can use a letter that you're more comfortable with. Then you use the more information you're given about the variables and get the constant of proportionality. And then you write the equation. This is a must-have. You must have this equation whereby you have substituted the constant k, whether you have been asked to write it or not. So that now you can use it to answer any further question that you have been given. So that's how you do it in direct proportion. Next, we are going to look at inverse proportion, but I'm going to give you an assignment, which we are going to post in our other forums. So go through this, see whether you understand. In case there will be any question, you can direct it to me. Thank you. Have a nice day.